Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrifice my time so you don't have to. It is really late at night, and honestly, I can't get any sleep. And you know what's been running through my mind, honestly, since I've been trying to get some sleep? Yo, where the fuck is Wardlow? Like, I feel like we ask that question in increments every 6 months, but legitimately, right now, because it's been long overdue since we've seen him. I looked on Wikipedia to at least see if he was injured. He's not injured. I looked at his actual profile, and the most updated thing about Wardlow is his big business match against Samoa Joe for the World Championship. That's the last time I seen him, and he hasn't been seen since. And it just dawned on me. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, what the fuck? What? And again, I was thinking to myself, okay, maybe he's predominantly on Collision. I mean, either A, no one gives a shit enough to want to update his status to tell us that he's on Collision, or I thought to myself, maybe he's in ROH. Still, again, maybe people don't give enough of a shit to update us on Wardlow and tell us where the fuck he's at the moment. And then it just dawned on me. He's in the same situation as Ricky Starks. The only difference is it's almost guaranteed that Ricky Starks is going to go to NXT in a few months. There's no guarantee for Wardlow. This is amazing. And I've talked about this in the past in regards to Wardlow and his career and how the fuck up of all fuck ups happened on Tony Khan's watch. But I feel we have yet to really dwell within that. I feel like I always grouped in Wardlow, whether it was in maybe a video or two talking about the big man wrestlers, or maybe talking about some AEW superstars not used properly in general, or I feel like maybe I touched on it a few times in some of the reviews, but I don't feel like I've ever dedicated one specifically to the subject of Wardlow. Let's take it back a little bit. Let's go back to, what was it, maybe 2019? I think it was 2019 the first time we seen Wardlow. Maybe at the earliest, let's just say, or the latest, maybe 2020. But I think 2019 is when we seen him for the first time, right? And he already fucked up to begin with, right? You got a guy like Wardlow who's super huge, super big. He's a bodyguard for MJF, right? You would think that maybe he should be doing bodyguard things. Maybe you shouldn't put him into a position to be losing to a smaller wrestler, let alone selling for a smaller wrestler. And mind you, his first loss was, to a Cody Rhodes in a steel cage match, and Cody Rhodes is now one of the more popular wrestlers in the world today. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that at that point in time, Cody Rhodes was not in the position that he's currently in right now at the moment, right? And you can make an argument that, well, at the time, Devontae, Cody was going for the World Championship, right? I don't know. I don't care. My point being is, why even put Wardlow in that spot to have to take an L from Cody Rhodes? You shouldn't have even put him in that kind of position. You're trying to build him, or you're not trying to build him. That probably right there should have been our first inkling as to what the fuck was going to happen with this character on the watch of Tony Khan. And as the years started to go on throughout 2021, throughout 2020, 2022, we always had this feeling with Wardlow that, okay, the more and more he keeps standing right next to MJF, they're going to eventually feud, right? You build it up enough when MJF keeps putting this guy into a position where he's going to belittle him, berate him, essentially bully him, which is weird because the dynamic should be it should be the other way around. But clearly the story being told is that MJF has something over this guy's head, right? Mind you, I'm thinking about it right now. I can't even remember, because I swear to God in 2019, was it just strictly the position of you're poor, I'm rich, you need this job? Was that really all that was tied up with Wardlow? I felt like MJF had a secret over his head or something, but I could be wrong. Nevertheless, though, you would think with how this story was going on, this was going to be Wardlow's breakout moment, right? MJF just came off hot off the heels of a CM Punk feud. Wardlow was the catalyst as to why MJF lost against CM Punk, and they had their match at Double or Nothing. He powerbombed that boy into oblivion. Now, mind you, before all of this, like I said, dude was getting some ridiculous chants. over than the motherfucker. He was supposed to be AEW's Goldberg. We had him earmarked for being the next Batista. He was going to be the Batista of this generation. We thought he was going to be the face of AEW in 2022. There's no way Tony's not going to put the belt on him, right? Look how hot this guy is, and he's a homegrown talent, like a legitimate homegrown talent. Like MJF is a homegrown talent, but he also came from MLW, right? Really, Wardlow came straight off the fucking indies, right into AEW's lap. All they had to do was give him the push. All they had to do was stay consistent with his push. He has star power written all over him. Dude had $1 million all over, just all over. You could send him out there in media. He's a larger-than-life talent. Hell, one may even argue in his position at that time, he had a more larger-than-life presence than mostly everybody in WWE, not named Roman Reigns. He could have been your answer to Roman Reigns if you knew what the fuck you were doing. It could have been no different than Goldberg being the answer to Stone Cold Steve Austin. But what do? You bury him. You bury him. You give him the push of a lifetime. He gets all these chants, super over. The aura that is resonating off of this man is unbelievable. Star power up the wazoo. All you have to do is give him an appropriate story and character directly after MJF. And you didn't do that. After MJF, for some reason, I don't know why, you cooled him down. You cooled him down significantly. I mean, you're still trying to save him from losses, but then at the same time, you're cooling him down more and more and more and more and more and more, to the point where it's like, well, shit. Like, remember, his first stretch of, irrelevancy as far as where the fuck is he, that happened in 2022. Excuse me. And then he gets the TNT Championship. And we're thinking to ourselves, okay, this is not the position we kind of figured he was going to be in at the time. We kind of figure right about now, he'd be, if not world champion, fighting for the world championship, at the very least within the mix of the main event scene. Nope. He has the TNT Championship. He loses the TNT Championship. He wins it back again. He loses it again. He gets Arn Anderson as a manager to build back up his credibility that should have never been lost to begin with. And he wins the TNT Championship again. And then he loses it again. And then off of television again. Never to be seen again. Brought back up months later. And you have him cutting these vignettes. And it's like, I'm coming after MJF. I want MJF. You guys remember that? I want MJF. And what happened? You bring him back, and he starts to beat the fuck out of jobbers, like you did the first time, where you completely ruined his momentum, completely ruined his aura. The reactions that he was getting at this time is not even remotely close. Hell, he's not even getting reactions anymore. No more is the Wardlow chants going on. No, that's all gone. The aura, him walking through the arena, coming through the audience with security guards around, looking like a badass. This generation's Goldberg. Poof. Gone. And like I said, you bring him back. All that energy that was surrounding him. You even went out of your way to cut off his ponytail. Completely fuck with his manhood. Never truly got his revenge on Samoa Joe, if you ask me. At least nothing to the degree of cutting his hair off. When apparently, remember, it had some correlation with his father passing away, because his father, I think he had cancer, if I'm not mistaken. All that story that was tied up to his reasoning, just gone. So not only do you waste a push, that story right there could have just added more to the character of Wardlow, and he could have resonated with more people. But like I said, you bring him back up. He wants revenge on MJF for ruining his career. Kayfabe makes absolutely no sense, because he beat the dog shit out of MJF at Double or Nothing, powerbombed him into oblivion. Remember that? He didn't do anything to MJF afterwards. MJF didn't do anything to him afterwards. For some reason, from a character standpoint, he wants revenge on MJF. Makes no sense at all. But we're sitting here and we're saying to ourselves, okay, We can dig it. We can fuck with it. The dynamics are different now. Wardlow happens to be the heel and MJF happens to be the babyface at the time. Let's see where this goes. You give us the Undisputed Kingdom. That was your answer. Your answer to Wardlow and how over he was previously was to give us the Undisputed Kingdom. One of, if not the worst stable in the history of professional wrestling in regards to what the fuck we were supposed to take seriously. Just beyond pitiful. And honestly, it was to the point, and I'm scratching my head and I'm thinking to myself, I shit you not. When the Undisputed Kingdom debuted, I said to myself, remember, I can't remember what I said exactly verbatim, but you can go back to the video. I remember thinking it sucked, but I said that I was willing to wait it out to see what can happen, only to realize these fucking morons are retreading the Adam Cole, or they're retreading the MJF Wardlow storyline, but this time it's Adam Cole. So instead of MJF running Wardlow, now it's Adam Cole running Wardlow, and it makes the Wardlow character look insanely stupid. You got out of the clutches of one man just to go into the clutches of another man. And to make matters much worse, because the Undisputed Kingdom sucked so fucking hard. But remember, the objective of the Undisputed Kingdom at the time was, okay, Wardlow, this is your position. You're supposed to win the World Championship and give it to me. This is Adam Cole. They couldn't even bother following through that storyline. And like I said, let's make matters much worse. I still, to this very day, remember that promo with Roderick Strong and I think Will Ospreay, if I'm not mistaken. Either Will or Orange Cassidy, but I think it was Will Ospreay. And they're cutting this promo, and you have the Undisputed Kingdom front and center talking to Will Ospreay and maybe some other people from the Don Callis family, maybe. And in the foreground, Wardlow standing right there. That's my last time remembering Wardlow, a sighting of Wardlow, standing in the background of the Undisputed Kingdom. To make matters much worse, remember the community post I dropped that day, or the next day, I guess. I didn't even know he was there. I went back to go watch the video, and he was in plain sight. And I didn't even know he was there. If that isn't the perfect representation of Wardlow and his entire AEW career, to go from one of the biggest rising stars in professional wrestling in 2022. I mean, this dude was a blue chipper. He had a rocket strapped to his ass. There was nobody on the rise like a Wardlow. To he's standing in plain sight and I don't even see him. And you know, you're hearing all these rumors of, well, Wardlow should go to WWE. Wardlow, he'll be used better in WWE. And I have to ask myself two questions. One, you know, it's nice to say that over and over and over again, and you try to make yourself believe that. But realistically, what the fuck would WWE want with Wardlow at this point in time? Theoretically, let's just be honest with ourselves. What the fuck does WWE want with Wardlow? Why? They got Braun Breaker right now. He's just as big and almost twice as young, right? Well, not almost twice as young, but he's a full decade younger. Why? Why take AEW sloppy seconds that they completely fucked up when they could just build up their own new star from scratch? Give them the WWE treatment, and he has a legacy with the Steiners. No, see, here's the number two part. No, see, here's the thing. You had a star. You had someone different from the pack. You had someone who stood out. Someone who could have been doing media runs with his suit on. The way, it's not as if he can't talk. You remember the promo that he cut, right? In the midst of the whole Undisputed bullshit Kingdom nonsense run. Remember the promo he cut? When he was really, really aggressive and he was coming after Samoa Joe? Oh God, don't forget about that. One of his last appearances was, falling asleep to Samoa Joe? in a match that shouldn't have happened to begin with. You used him as fodder to help get Joe over. Just to think that you had someone naturally built up, groomed for that position, right there for the pickings, and to just wash your hands away with him for what? Was he hard to work with backstage? God knows I can only understand why. Like, fuck, how many times are you gonna fuck the guy over before he actually stands up for himself? If that happens to be the case, I'm not sure what the situation happens to be this time. I'm just notating the fact that it looks like Wardlow was probably, if I had to guess, I'm just guessing what happened here. If I had to guess, Wardlow was probably one of those guys where it's like he kept his mouth shut and he just did his job and he got naturally over. You guys noticed this. You did the right thing and you pushed him immediately and he got used to it. He was happy with his push. Holy fuck, I'm gonna get a chance. I'm gonna get the opportunity to build a legacy for myself, right? And then you yank the rug from underneath him. And then you tell him, hey, don't worry, we're gonna build you back up again when there shouldn't have never been an again. There is no again. What do you mean again? But that's probably what they did. Only to fuck him over again. Don't worry, kid, we got you. We're gonna build you up again. You said again the last time where there shouldn't have been an again the first time. This is your second time saying again. You fucked them over again. Third time's the charm, kid. This time we have Arn Anderson. And then you proceed to fuck him up. And then you have the audacity to stick him in the Undisputed Kingdom. And then he gets fucked over again. And it's like, he probably stood up for himself. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt if Wardlow stood up for himself and he thought this was bullshit. I wouldn't doubt it if Wardlow said to himself, stop playing fucking games with me. I'm pushing 40 years old. This is my life. This is my legacy. Give me something to work with. Or fuck you. To Creative. To Tony. How many times do you pull a guy along or pull his leg? I mean, this is like the ultimate dick tease, right? I mean, goddamn. I've never seen a superstar get friend zoned with the world championship before. Make it make sense. And it all comes back to one guy. And mind you, I wish one of these journalists out here, these kiss-ass journalists, you bring up the most mundane things to AEW. But God knows when it's WWE, you could bring up the Vince McMahon scandal 1,000,001 fucking times. How about you hold Tony Khan's feet to the fire for a fucking change? Ask him, where the fuck is Wardlow? Not just where the fuck is Wardlow, why did you stop his push? What was the reasoning behind stopping his push? Why couldn't Wardlow be a breakout star to the grand to the extent of the other wrestlers who don't have his aura? Why did you fuck over Wardlow? Can you give us a direct answer? Now, granted, he won't do that because, like I said, in the end of the day, he knows that he fucked up. AEW knows that he fucked up, and most importantly, Wardlow knows that he fucked over Wardlow. And it's a crying shame because, like I said, from the whole world in his hands to a marble of a world in his hands. And like I said, and again, it's not as if you guys are smoking the greatest of copium. Can I get a hit off that, dog? If you really think that him going to WWE is going to make any bit of difference, and that's if they even want to take him, what difference is it going to make? You think he's going to show up to the main roster? You think Ricky Starks is going to show up in NXT and Wardlow's going to show up to the main roster? Make it make sense. No, Wardlow, if he does get picked up, which I highly doubt, to be perfectly honest with you, because like I said, they have Braun Breaker, dude is straight going to NXT. When this should have not been the case. Wardlow should have been the main event of Wembley Stadium. Wardlow right now should be a 2 or 3 time world champion. Wardlow should be the face of your company. Wardlow should be the one going to the Make-A-Wish foundations. Wardlow should be the poster boy. Wardlow should be the face directly in the middle of your trailer traps when you're pulling the ring down to whatever town you're visiting that day. Wardlow right now should be the biggest draw in your company. Wardlow right now should be the guy getting a bunch of fucking segments. Wardlow should be your John Cena. He should be your Batista. He should be your Austin. He should be your Rock. He should be your Hogan. But instead, dude's the equivalent of a jobber being fed to Hogan, let alone Hogan himself. And it's like no one ever actually holds his feet to the fire for the stupid fucking decisions that he makes. God knows I only understand how Wardlow feels at the moment. to know that he himself right now should be one of the biggest stars in professional wrestling today, to people wondering where the fuck is he for like the third or fourth time. Complete irrelevancy. You can legitimately release him today and it wouldn't make a bit of damn difference, when in reality he should be in the position right now making a difference for your company. And it's even crazier because it's not as if we aren't starving for something different. I mean, goddamn, how many fucking small guys? You guys heard the rumors, right? Apparently they're thinking about putting the world title on Darby Allin. Look, I fuck with Darby Allin, but you got me like fucked up if you think that's gonna do anything in regards to pushing the needle forward, right? Come on, bruh. You had someone who looked different from the pack, of a bygone era, and you squander it for no fucking reason. I don't know what to attribute it to. I can't attribute it to selfishness. It's not as if he hasn't given them multiple shots. Granted, one lesser than the other, but still, a shot is a shot. I honestly can't fathom what the fuck it is, outside of the fact that Tony Khan legitimately hates big man and he loves small man. And he wants to see the small guys get more opportunities than the big guys. That's the only thing I could possibly think of, because realistically, there's no way and there's no rhyme and there's no reason as to why Wardlow right now shouldn't be the face of your company, especially with how you position him as far as 2022 going forward today, where right now, not only should he be one of the faces of your company, right now, he should be the guard. He should be the guy. Again, he should be the John Cena. He should be the Roman Reigns. I can't stress this enough. I cannot stress this enough how badly they fucked this guy over. And like I said, he could have been. There is no pure definition of a homegrown talent than a Wardlow. Goddamn shame. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. How did you feel about the commentary? Did you feel that Wardlow had nothing to offer? Do you feel that no, Devontae Wardlow absolutely has something to offer, and God knows what he could have been doing right now if given the opportunity, if given at least a chance to get over. I honestly shake my head every time I see some type of reminder of the guy. It shouldn't have gone down this way. It shouldn't be this way. It's such a fucking crying shame. And honestly, not only is it booking malpractice, it's fucking despicable that this Chia Pet motherfucker right now presides over a roster when he himself has something on the silver platter directly in his face. I mean, all you had to do was take the turkey and put it in the microwave and heat it up. Take it out, put the rice, put the rest of the leftovers in the microwave and heat it up, and somehow you blew up the house. How? You had one job, a simple task, and you blew up the fucking house. Like I said, if anything ever happens to this company going forward, that's a negative or a detriment, it's decisions like this where you have to come back to and say, oh yeah, that's one of the reasons why this company is out of, well, knock on wood, out of business. Not because of the Wardlow dismissal, but because of decisions made, just like the decisions that were made upon Wardlow. As always, my name is Devontae, and I'll be catching you guys later. Deuces, P. Ice.